Welcome to U4L3 solving for x and similar figures. This lesson is going to be very similar to lesson 2, but instead of looking for a specific side length, we are now solving for x, where there is at least one expression with x in one of the triangles somewhere. So the figures are similar, solve for x. So looking at this triangle, notice we have a similarity statement saying that they're similar. Triangle DEF is similar to triangle DLM. We have our two triangles that meet at point D. And then we have this side that includes x, right? 12x plus 2. So we definitely have to use that side length in one of our ratios. So starting there, DE. So DE corresponds to DL, and DL is 20, okay? And then DF corresponds to DM, so DF, which is 99, corresponds to DM, which is 18. Now just make sure you're consistent, right? Make sure that whatever order you write your ratios in, that you are consistent. So I'm going to start with my bigger triangle. I'm going to do 12x plus 2, 12x plus 2 over 20. And that must be equal to, again, you need to make sure you go back to the triangle that has 12x plus 2, okay? So you got to make sure you put 99 on top. So 99 over 18. Okay, please always verify that the numbers that are both in the top came from the same triangle. Okay, now we can cross multiply and solve. Now, when you cross multiply and solve, keep in mind, you are multiplying 20 times 99 as per usual, right? That part doesn't change. That's going to give you 1980 equals, but when you multiply 18 times 12x plus 2, you need to distribute. You need to multiply the 18 times the 12x and 18 times 2. So it's going to be 18 times 12x is 216x plus 18 times 2, which is 36. And then we can finish solving this two-step equation. So subtract 36 on both sides. We end up with 1980 minus 36, which is 1944, is equal to 216x. And then we divide by 216. So we end up getting x is 9. And in this case, it really is x, right? We were solving for x that was in our original expression, okay, on side DE. So it's x is the actual answer here, unlike in lesson 2, where we used x as like a placeholder almost, right, as a variable, and then we had to go back and write our side length. So that is the actual answer. All right, example 2. The figures are similar, solve for x. There is no similarity statement, right? There's no similarity statement because we don't need one. We have a triangle and a triangle. And so just to remind you how this works, right? We have to use the side that has the x because that's what we're solving for. Okay, so we have to use 14x minus 11. That's CD. That's from C all the way to D, okay? And that corresponds to CL, okay? So 22. Then we can use, in this case, we have two other pairs of sides that are corresponding. We can use any that we want. I'm going to go ahead and go to the left side, and I'm going to use the CK, which is 14. So this side here. And then I'm going to use from C all the way to E, which is 91. Okay? So again, it doesn't matter how you create these ratios as long as you are consistent. So I'm going to start with my 14x minus 11 again. 14x minus 11 over 22. Equals, and then because I started with the bigger triangle C to D, I need to start with the bigger triangle C to E as well. So 91 over and then 14. Cross multiply again. So 22 times 91. I'm using my calculator for this to make it faster. 2002 equals, and then when you multiply 14, right, this 14 by 14x and minus 11, you need to distribute. You need to multiply it by both of them. So 14 times 14 is going to give us 196x minus 14 times 11, which is 154. Now we just solve the equation. So since we see subtracting, we add 154. We will get 2,156. Equals 196x, and then we can divide by 196 on both sides. And we are going to get that x is equal to 11, and again, that is an x value. And there we go. All right, last but not least, let's look at one more. So look at example 3. This is one you need to be really, really careful on, and I'll show you why. Again, there is no similarity statement here, right? You need to just look at the triangles. It's one inside the other, and find your corresponding sides. So first of all, we need to use our side that has an x in it, because we're solving for x, right? So we need to use our 42x plus 8, which is L to M. And then the actual triangle, I'm going to go ahead and trace it so you can see it, is this triangle here. Okay? So 42x plus 8 corresponds to the 128, which is QM. Okay? But then you need to be very careful here. You have to use corresponding sides. For example, I don't see RM, which is what would correspond to 187. I don't see it. So you can either ignore that side altogether, okay, and not use it at all, or if you really want to use it, you need to find RM first by taking the length from K to M, which is 187, and subtracting this KR length here, which is 51. Okay, so if you want to do that, you can find this by doing 187 minus 51, and then after you subtract that, you'll get 136, and then that's the value of RM, and you can use that if you want. So if you want to use that value, you can, and that's how you do it, and then you can use the 136 and the 187. Otherwise, if you have the option, you can just use the 99 and the 72 here if those values are labeled. So just make sure you're using the values from the triangle, not this extra spot over here, this little quadrilateral, okay? Don't use those actual values for your ratios. Okay, so setting up my ratio, this time I'm going to start with the smaller triangle. So I'm going to start with 128. Okay, over 42x plus 8. Alexa, off. Sorry. Okay, equals to, so smaller side, smaller triangle over larger triangle. And then do the same thing on the other side. So smaller triangle is 136 over 187. Now cross multiply and solve. So I'm going to go ahead and do the distribution first. So take my 136 and multiply that to 42, sorry. And then 136 times 8 as well. So 136 times 42, these numbers are going to get pretty big. So 5712x plus 136 times 8. 1088 equals 128 times 187. 23,936. Now we just finished solving. Subtract 1088, subtract 1088. And we have that 5712x equals 22,848. Divide by 5712, divide by 5712. And we actually get 4. Okay, and then that is our answer because, again, we were solving for x. So that's the value we're looking for. And we're done with these notes. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a great day.